Okay, it's Kyla back again. So we've gone through dream, we've gone through define, we've gone through dissolve. Now, if you haven't already, I really hope that you emailed me. I find so often people think, I wouldn't dare email Kyla. I wouldn't bother her. I wouldn't burden her. I've asked you to. It brings me so much joy to give, to receive. And so if you haven't emailed me those already, please do, so that I can provide you with some individual support that is going to be tailored to you and what has been standing in your way. That will then take us into design. If you can't tell, this video has been done very off the hook, but with a lot, like over a decade of wisdom inside of me. But it is not professionally done. It has been done by my phone without even a microphone, because I want you to start to understand that you get to design who you are as a coach and a healer. You get to design how what you share with the world looks like in the world. For myself, what I know is if I let anything get in the way of just getting something done, in terms of I've got to edit it, it's got to look perfect, I've got to have my makeup done, I've got to blow dry my hair, guess what I will never do? Create this video. Which means that all of this wisdom that is inside of me that I want to share with you stays inside, because I have designed it in a way that has created limitations. So instead, my design has always been to wing it in the most wise, profound ways, because I've spent years and years and years perfecting what it is that I desire to share with you. So my design in how I am going to have my business look, what it is going to be run with that will be successful to me and to my life, is going to be very different. However, we also need to be defining it in terms of what does the design need to look like for the clients that you're here to serve. Remember, we spoke about that when we went into define, and we defined who you are as a coach or a healer, but then also starting to now understand that how do you need to design your day? How do you need to design your self-care? How do you need to design your week, your quarter, your month, so that you are prepped and prepared for all of the sales calls that you need to do, for all of the training that maybe you need to complete, for things if you've got family and children that you need to prioritize. Designing your life is a part of designing your business in a way that it serves and supports you, because when you're energetically full, it is going to serve and support your clients. So looking at this part in two realms, in terms of designing your business as a coach and a healer to serve you, and then designing it in a way that is going to serve and support your clients. What I knew was, after doing the soul coaching, that when I realized I was going to step back into the world of corporate, I needed to language things in a way that felt safe for them. Often as coaches and healers, we want to use a language that is comfortable for us. But guess what that does? It invokes so much fear and doubt and resistance in people. Instead of looking through their eyes, looking through the lens and the eyes of the client that you want to serve, and saying, how do I need to design what I'm doing in a way that's going to feel safe for them to get the greatest level of transformation, for you to make the greatest impact in their life in the shortest amount of time. I remember a few years back, I spoke to a lady who wanted to coach in corporate, and she had done that beautiful transition where people create a spiritual name. Now that is divine and that is beautiful, but what it doesn't do is allow people in corporate to feel safe to come to you as a coach. Do I wish that you could call yourself anything, that you could turn up dressed in any way, shape or form and you would be loved and accepted? Yes. Am I naive to the fact that the world isn't in that place yet? No. So though you are really wanting to define who you are as a coach and stepping into that ideal client, you also need to design your offering in a way that speaks to the people that you can serve at the greatest level. So in this task, I want you to really have a think about, what does the design of your week need to look like to serve the next level of expanding or starting your business as a coach and a healer? For some of you, it might be a couple of days a week. For some of you, it might be full time, but really defining what this is going to look like, and then being realistic with what you can do with that amount of time, because life is full with distractions these days. So if you don't design your week, it will get taken over from you. Then from designing it comes one of my favorite pieces and places to be: deployment. How are you going to deploy yourself as a coach and a healer in the world? From this point that you're at right now, not from where you want to be in 10 years' time, not from where you potentially have been, for your next step of evolution as a coach and a healer, what is your deployment plan? Do you want to run small groups, large groups, one-on-one, online, in a local community? This is where your deployment then aligns with as well the design that you've created in terms of who you want to serve and how you're going to serve them. You've moved through all your dissolving blocks, and it aligns with what you've defined as yourself as a coach and a healer, and that big in you soulful dream, not head dream, soulful heart-centered dream. What is your deployment plan going to look like? This part requires clearly defined step-by-step action, because when you are transitioning to this next level of where you're going in terms of financial abundance, in terms of financial freedom, in terms of bringing impact and more clients you're attracting to you, it is going to be scary. You are going to be reaching beyond a comfort zone and a fear level that you've never been to before. You are going to be putting yourself out there, and with that comes fear. Fear fears fear. Fear fears change. Having a clearly defined deployment plan of what you need to do, and then having someone like a coach keep you accountable for it. And this is the process you can take clients through at the same time too. Letting them know that fear, doubt, resistance is completely okay. A comfort zone is comfy because we feel so comfortable in it. However, we are not born to be comfortable. We are born to grow, to expand, to discover new masterpieces within ourselves and the world, which requires a clearly defined deployment plan. Step by step, and then someone magically to keep you accountable, which is where you come in the lives of clients. Next step, detach. So this is where we get it so wrong. I, over the years, became so attached to things needing to look in a certain way, shape, or form. Now, the gift with taking action when you are in this spiritual, what we say, woo-woo space, is that we take the action, but we let go of how it may potentially be received. Now, what this means is, and this aligns with, I have a 40 Days of Divine Magnetism program I take new soul coaches through. And what it is, it's about understanding that once you remain at this higher level of love, kindness, purpose, you become a magnet to divine opportunities. So if we are so closed that it has to look like this, it has to look like this client, it has to look like 20 people at a workshop and there's only 2, so I'm going to cancel it. What we want you to be doing is focusing on service. This is what I see go wrong so many times with coaches and healers, is that we, like I did, I'm saying we, attach our worth and our value to our business. Now, the level at which you're willing to expand and put yourself out there definitely has a connection. However, without your business, without being a coach and a healer, you are still of huge value and worth in this world. So this is where universal support, universal love comes in, but also this detachment in terms of not bottlenecking things to have to be a certain way. In the soul coaching, the way we say it is this or better. So this or better means I'm going to take the action. I'm going to do my deployment plan. I'm going to dream really big. I'm going to look at my vision board every day. I'm going to action like a MF. I swear sometimes. However, I am then going to be in a space of letting go, surrendering to what comes to me, and then checking in all the time in terms of the direction that you're heading. I could never have imagined that I would end up in the place that I am right now. When I started out as a one-on-one coach and healer, that was my mission, that was my vision. I had a dream to open a healing center, which I did as well, and I'll talk about that later. But my greatest fear was public speaking. It always had been, to the point that when I was at school, I used to stutter, I used to freak out, I hated it. So I would never have imagined that running hundreds of workshops for thousands of corporates would have even been part and parcel of my purpose. though they do often say your greatest fear is often a part of your path and purpose. However, when I started this work, I realized that the mission, my soul's song inside of me, was so loud, was so great, that I had to move beyond this fear, and I had to step through it in my own gentle paced ways, which meant I had to detach from the direction that I thought that it was going. So when the opportunities came, I needed to face the fear and keep going anyway. So when you come to this part, this detachment, this letting go, remember, you create your vision and then it's this or better. However, this doesn't mean that if something doesn't happen in the first go, you give up. It means that check your copy. We go to practical places in this. I remember Jeff Walker, when I did one of his trainings, said it's a copy problem. And so when it came to marketing, it wasn't about me having an emotional block or an energetic block or a spiritual block. I assure you, I always check first, because there is a lot of resistance that comes from us energetically as well. But if you've done all the energetic work, if you're showing up as an embodiment of everything that you want to share in the world as a coach and a healer, then sometimes there is some practical, tactical things that need to be done. But if you can say with honesty that you have done your best, quite often I'll call the soul coaches in our community out when they say, I've done everything that I can. I will send through a list of all the things that I know that they could have done in terms of workshops and things like that. So if you can honestly say that in your deployment plan you have done everything, this is the gift of detachment and letting go and allowing it to be whatever it needs to be. I remember a really long time ago, someone shared with me when I was running lots of workshops, public ones, which can be challenging to your ego in terms of when bookings are done so last minute these days. What happened was they were teaching kinesiology and they expected 20 or so people in the room, and 2 elderly ladies booked in. Now, I might get the story a little bit wrong, but basically he decided to run the workshop anyway as if there was 20 people in the room, to give it his 100%, to give it his all. And these beautiful, lovely ladies enjoyed the whole weekend with him. They walked away and he was slightly deflated in terms of that was beautiful, it was lovely, they gained some information, but it wasn't what he imagined it to be. The following week, he got a call from one of the ladies' grandsons who ran a massive institute that wanted to take him on board to run the workshop because he'd heard it was run so amazingly and he did such a good job. You don't know what's coming next. So all you need to do is show up as that best, greatest version of you, not me, not anyone else as a coach and a healer, the greatest version of you, and serve at the highest level, at the greatest level of value, and then detach from the outcome. Focus on giving value, focus on transforming lives, focused on impact. And I assure you, from that space of love and gratitude and celebration, which I'm going to talk about in the next video, everything and anything is possible. I look forward to connecting with you again soon. And if you've got any questions around the design, the deployment, or the detachment, reach out. I'm going to keep saying it until you do. Over and out. Mwah.